Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another episode of my album reviews. Today, we are going to take a look at something completely different than what we've been looking at. Most stuff you could say we've been looking at is hard rock or heavy metal or just rock in general. Today, we're going to go outside that genre a little bit, a lot, depending on how you want to look at it, and we are going to look at Cheech and Chong's greatest hit. Alright. Normally I would not do best of compilations. I would not do greatest hits compilations or anything like that. But everyone should own this CD, okay? This one, if nothing else, you should own. Because, I've owned and I do own still other ones, like the actual individual albums that make this up. But this here, oh my god. Everybody wants to always associate Cheech and Chong with stoner humor, and yes, stoner humor, and I'm going to get into that. But there's so much more than stoner humor in here, okay? This CD seriously made me the cool kid when I was a teenager because I had this CD, man. I put this CD on and I opened up people's minds and went boom. No, I was never the cool kid, man. But the fact that I had this CD, man, was cool, okay? I mean, people I have played this CD for, man. This CD, to this day, I still love throwing this CD on. Not all the time, but, just every so often. And there are actually, because of the music tracks, I actually do listen to the music tracks on their own in a mix. When I got MP3 mix going on, or they've been on mixtapes when I was teenager, stuff like that. So itchy nose. Okay, damn allergies. All right, let's cut into the tracks on this album. All right. The album opens up with Dave. Now, I don't want to give punchlines away, and I don't want to, give... Some of these tracks I'll be able to talk a little bit about the tracks. Some of them I can't because they're very basic track. The first track, Dave, is a great track. It's a simple joke. It plays out over about a minute and a half. It is a great way to warm up the album. It really is. It's a genius way to warm up any album, and it works perfect to warm up a greatest hits album. From there, we go into... and if you want, if you're looking for the original, the track Dave would be found on the Cheech and Chong album. Because luckily they print that information on the back here as well. They didn't put the times on, but they've got the original, the track listing and the original albums from. So moving on, sorry. From there, we go into Earache My Eye. Okay, Earache My Eye is one of my all-time favorite songs. Oh my god, it is just such a great song, and it is heavy, and it's got some chug to it and some rhythm. Okay, so other than that awesome killer ass riff, and I know I'm sure I sound like a complete idiot doing it, but anybody who knows the song knows that you're doing it along with me. Okay, but from there, and you have such killer, great lines. It's such a great joke. My mama talking to me, trying to tell me how to live. I mean, just. Cheech has got the greatest voice for delivery of lines. I mean, I will never, ever imitate anybody with a Mexican voice or a Latino voice, but I imitate the hell out of Cheech's voice, man. Oh my god, I love doing Cheech's voice. It's just so great. But Earache My Eye is just... And the other thing that goes with that is, it's a great music song. Like, the song itself is just, it's great music. The lyrics are hilarious as hell. It's just such a cool tune. And I mean, it's such a cool tune that, I know that there are other popular bands out there by the name of, like, say, Korn that have done a cover of it. So, that's... And that's off of also, that comes from Cheech and Chong's The Wedding album. I have the Wedding album. It's the other Cheech and Chong CD I have because Cheech and Chong CDs are hard to come by, unfortunately. Um, but I have the Wedding album is a hilarious album. I'll get to another day. From there we go to Let's Make a Dope Deal. Now, Let's Make a Dope Deal is the first song on this album, or the first track, sorry, on this album because it's not a song that is definitely about drugs. It is off of the Big Bamboo album. Now, the Big Bamboo album, that was actually my first exposure to comedy albums. I stumbled across it in this little shop that was a heavy metal shop. So, anyways, they had Big Bamboo on cassette, and I saw it, and right away I had to pick it up, and I fell in love with it. And my dad was a little because I had bought it. I think it was only 12, maybe 13. Let's Make a Dope Deal is on there. Okay, so, but Let's Make a Dope Deal. It's this great skit, where you got Cheech as a game show host, and it really doesn't. It sounds like Cheech, but it doesn't sound like Cheech. And then you got Chong, who's the contestant on this show, and they're interacting with each other, and it's asinine, but it's like if you were on any of those game shows now, like Let's Make a Deal or whatever like that, like Let's Make a Dope Deal is basically the same idea, right? From there, the next song is Basketball Jones, and that is from Los Chachinos. Conchinos, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering that. Sorry, nope, done. But the song Basketball Jones, oh my god. Such a fun song to sing with. It goes on my MP3 player or not my MP3, my phone for the MP3s, whatever the hell you want to say nowadays. Okay, my Walkman. It goes on my Walkman. Because I love singing with it, man. Like just Basketball Jones, I got him. But it's also the story that goes through the song as it's going. It's so much fun. Like really, Tommy Chong does not get enough credit as a musician, and I don't know how much of the actual music Cheech got involved with outside of the lyrics, but it was so underrated, really. Such great songs. From there, we go to the Blind Melon Chitlin skit from the Cheech and Chong album. Blind Melon Chitlin, man. Okay, so you got a picture of Blues guy in a recording studio who's, partially hearing impaired, and just chaos that ensues with that. It's friggin' great. Okay, after that, Sister Mary Elephant from the Big Bamboo album again. Sister Mary Elephant, oh my god. Class! Shout! Okay, seriously, you got it. Oh my god. Sister Mary Elephant is friggin' great, man. Just, if you're wearing headphones, turn it down. Okay? You've been warned. Turn it down. After that, it's followed up with Sergeant Stadenko, and it sounds like the perfect follow-up. You'd almost think that it's a direct follow-up, but it's not. That's back from the album where I'm going to butcher up the name. Cochinos? Los Cochinos? Sorry. And there we go to Dave Continued, which appeared on the original Cheech and Chong album. And Dave Continued is, the same joke as what was going on with Dave, just continued. And because of where it's mixed in the album, it works perfectly. It's if this was a vinyl and it was side 2, it'd be the perfect way to open up side 2, and I think that's probably how it did work. From there we go to Cruising with Pedro de Pacas, And that's from the Cheech and Chong album as well. There's basically Pedro and Man, all right? Now, if you've ever seen the first Cheech and Chong movie, Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke, anything to do with Pedro de Pacas or Cruiser with Pedro or Pedro and Man, or I'm going to get all of that, it's basically the fundamental basics for what became the first Cheech and Chong movie. Right down to the joke of when, the opening bit after, like if you've seen Up in Smoke, the opening bit after they pick up Chong when he's hitchhiking, and they get really blitzed, and the car is completely at a dead stop, and they don't know if they're going or what the hell's going on. Blah, blah, blah. That literally was taken from this skit. So that's Cruising with Pedro de Pacas, and there we got the continuing adventures of Pedro de Pacas, which is just going on with that same thing. And now the continuing adventures of Pedro de Pacas and Man, that was from the Big Bamboo album. So these showed up over different albums, but like I said, they started making the fundamentals of what became the first. Actually, I believe the continuing adventures of Pedro de Pacas is the opening to maybe the next Cheech and Chong, the next movie. I could be wrong on that one. And then from there, we go to Pedro and Man at the drive-in. That's from the Los Cochinos album. And that one is, oh my God. Okay, so, yeah, if you've never been to a drive-in, if you have no idea what it's like to go to a drive-in, this is interesting and will give you kind of a little bit of an idea of what it was like to go to the drive-in in the 60s and the 70s, especially if you're going with your asshole friends. Okay, this is specifically if you're going with your asshole friends to the drive-in. It's so hilarious. And then you get to Trippin' in Court to finish off the album. Trippin' in Court is from the Cheech and Chong album. Trippin' in Court is hilarious. It is, there's a court scene also, if you've ever seen Up in Smoke, where they get into court and they're kind of being blah, 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 blah. It's a similar idea, but not the same. It's not that scene being played out, but an audio version or whatnot. It's just various characters actually going through court. It would be more almost like if you would ever watch Night Court, almost in its own little way. I want to say like a little inspiration kind of for Night Court, sort of, with the wacky cases or whatnot. Either way. Reason why I really wanted to cover this album is I love comedy albums. And comedy albums, that was the one thing that sucks about the way CDs died, is you lost the comedy album. Because you don't get radio shows like you used to get anymore. And people say, oh, well, you got webcasts and stuff like that. It's not the same as what would go into these. Not the way they would work these jokes and work these skits and stuff like that. This is also not like picking up... It's not like picking up a George Carlin album either. Because a George Carlin album is just George Carlin's shows performed live and mixed on there. These are all skits. These are all stories. These are all hilarity that allow you to use your imagination. You can sit back with a bunch of friends in a room, put this album on, pass a joint around. Don't have to. If you are over the age of 26, you can do that. If you are under the age of 26, it can critically hurt your brain. Maybe you should not do that. So anyways, moving on. I did my message. It's a great album to share with friends. Seriously. It really, really is. Just because you can sit back and you listen and you laugh and you hear these great skits and these great sketches. And I really wish people would do albums like this again. This was something that Adam Sandler even tried to revive, I believe. And he was one of the last people I knew that tried doing something like this. And, he did a really good job. But the problem is when he started doing it, it was at the time when CDs, unfortunately, were starting to take a hit because people were... MP3s were coming out. People were rebelling against the prices of CDs. Just wasn't as easy. But, please, folks, if you want to laugh, Cheech and Chong's greatest hit. That's right, greatest hit. Anyways, leave your comments. Hit the like button. Subscribe, that way you get your notifications when I send in a new video. Otherwise, I love you all. Peace and take care.